You are listening to a Fangirls Going Rogue priority transmission.
All team, give it everything you got!
It's time to fangirl flail with Fangirls Going Rogue.
Count me in.
I don't think there's anything more important in the Star Wars universe than the fans.
News, discussion, and commentary from the female point of view.
You call this a diplomatic solution?
No, I call it aggressive negotiations.
With your hosts, Teresa Delgado, Tricia Barr, and Sarah Woloski.
Boy, am I glad to hear your voice.
Strap in, because this is where the fun begins.
I like the sound of that.
Welcome, Yub Cubs, to a special Fangirls Going Rogue priority transmission. I am Teresa Delgado, one of your co-hosts, and I'm from Texas. And with me are my co-hosts, Tricia Barr from Fangirl Blog.
Hi, we're not a little punchy tonight.
Here's the funny part. I'll introduce Sarah first, then I'll tell you. Sarah Woloski is also here with us. She's from Skywalking Through Neverland.
Hi, I was having fun skywalking earlier today. Through my kitchen.
So it's funny because right as I said I'm from Texas, I start hearing somebody clapping in the background. My husband. He's clapping for me that I'm from Texas.
Nice. So okay, but he's not from Texas, right?
No, he's from Chicago.
So he doesn't have that Texas pride, but apparently he's getting some?
He has Texas pride.
Okay.
But he has more like Chicago hot dog pride than anything else. And Chicago Cubs pride, I guess.
Well, nice.
I have no Texas pride. So we just have Florida. I'm from Florida, and all we ever do is get made fun of. Deservedly so, because apparently people just do really wacky things in Florida.
They do. Yeah. They really do. And I know because I live there and I saw it.
Oh, boy. But we had to talk about when we were all in Seattle.
Yeah.
I know. Did you guys you got to go and enjoy the town a little bit too, right?
We did. We walked a lot.
Yeah. So September 30th through October 1st was GeekGirlCon in Seattle, which is of course what we're going to be talking about today. But yes, so Teresa and I, this is the first time we were both in Seattle. Or no, it was the first time for me, not the first time for you, Teresa, right?
No. Second time.
No. Okay. But we did. We got to do a lot of walking on the Monday after GeekGirlCon, and we went to Pike Place Market, and we walked up to the Space Needle, and we did a tour of Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of the tour of Amazon, here, Amazon has this really cool area that's called the Post-it wall. Mm-hmm. And it's this whole wall. People can just stick Post-its to it. So we put stuff up there like Fangirls Going Rogue was here, and Skywalking Through Neverland was here. And I put one up that said, I am one with the Force. And the whole point was maybe somebody would finish it with their own Post-it note. As of today, October 12th. So we did this on October 2nd.
Okay.
When we did the sticky notes.
Yes.
On October 12th, somebody finally finished it. Erica sent me a picture that somebody put a sticky note up there and finished the quote. And it says, "The Force is with me."
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
So cool.
Yay.
That is so cool. Apparently there's also a security guard at Amazon who has a Sharpie and draws amazing geek art on the walls. That disappear. Yet, what did you guys see? Did you get to see any of this art?
Well, I didn't see any art, but the fun thing is, it's not only relegated to the security guard who can draw on the walls. You can draw on the walls too. So when we were in the elevator, I picked up a Sharpie and started drawing Rapunzel. Because why not?
Yep, and then I wrote "The Force is female."
I like it. So you just got to write random stuff on the wall.
It was awesome.
You guys in general, everybody listened to the 50th episode. It was so much fun. We got to record live there together, which we've really only gotten to do when we're at Celebration. So this was a totally new experience. We didn't have the audience, but we were live and people got to join us on Facebook, and we had Annalise Ophelian on. So definitely check that episode out. It's really fun, and you'll get to hear so much more about GeekGirlCon, but the fun part for me was just you guys like getting in a mix and meeting people, which was so cool. And at Annalise's panel, I got to take Teresa up and introduce her to this next guest. Teresa, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, yes, because it just keeps going and my life just continues to be enriched with rainbows and unicorns and all kinds of things. So the My Little Pony Jedi were there, and they were actually there, just two of them, and they were there as Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, who are two of like the main characters from the My Little Pony TV series. And actually, Pat Yulo, who was dressed as Princess Celestia, that's not her normal character. She's normally Pinkie Pie, but she borrowed the costume to use. And we got to talk to them all about what it means to cosplay as My Little Pony Jedi. And here's the really cool part. I am now officially joining the herd. I can actually say that I will be cosplaying as Lyra Heartstrings, and we'll put a picture in the show notes of what she looks like, but I get to be Lyra Heartstrings. And the reason I mean this keeps just enriching my life is that now I'm in a group on Facebook and a chat of the My Little Pony Jedi, so I'm getting to meet all of the other ones. So now you guys get to hear our interview with the My Little Pony Jedi.
We are at GeekGirlCon 2017.
Yay.
And we've viewed a few panels, one of which was the Looking for Leia panel, where we saw Pony Jedi.
It's the best. Well, actually, I saw them first when we saw the trailer or the clip that they're releasing today.
For Looking for Leia.
Yeah, and I was like, there's Pony Jedi? What? Because the only pony mashup I've seen before are the My Little Pony Mandos.
So, you know what we did? Instead of just talking about the Pony Jedi, My Little Pony Jedi, they are actually standing here right in front of us. So if you guys want to introduce yourselves, what pony you're dressed as, what Pony Jedi, and just a little bit about yourselves, if you could.
Sure. Hi, my name is Pat Yulo. We're from San Francisco, and I'm dressed as Princess Celestia Jedi. Although technically this one isn't my costume. I normally do Pinkie Pie Jedi, but we were here just with the two of us, so we figured we should be a pair representing together. So I borrowed the girl who actually has Celestia, and it's like, can I borrow your costume? Thank you.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Marcy Hogan, and I am Darth Nightmare Moon here. Pat approached me sometime early in the year. Yeah, and she was like, hey, Marcy, do you want to do this thing with me? I already have the costume mostly made. And I was like, okay. And so we went to Babs Con as the My Little Pony Jedi she had the main six already, and she's like, we need a villain. And so she roped me in to be the Nightmare Moon villain. And yeah, we've just been doing it. Yeah.
So the story sort of like behind of where they came from was I went with a bunch of friends to Celebration Anaheim. And while we were sitting there, we're like, oh, let's go check out the mashup panel. And we're sitting there. And in my mind, always, I've been costuming for over 10 years. I will never do a mashup. It's always in the back of my head. I will never do, hardcore, never. And then we're sitting in the mashup panel, and I turn to my friend, and I'm like, hey, what's the one thing you and I love the most? And she's like, Star Wars and My Little Pony. I'm like, I know. And then within 2 seconds, she's like, dibs on Rainbow Dash. I'm like, dibs on. I'm like, dibs on Pinkie Pie. And she's like, okay, 2 down, 4 to go. and then what happens was in April? By January, 3 of my cousins who are sisters were like, we're moving to the Bay Area. And I'm like, oh, you are. Ha ha ha. Hi, I have a proposition for you. And then the 3 of them were like, they look at each other like, dibs on Applejack, dibs on Fluttershy, and then dibs on Rarity. And we're like, that's awesome. And so I just found one more friend. And I'm like, Miss Ravenclaw over here, you're so Twilight Sparkle it hurts. And she said yes. So we were able to get the main 6 going, followed by one bad guy. And then more people were like, can we also do this? And we said, yes, let's expand.
And so in the panel, you guys were talking about who you have, and you've got the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and I'm assuming they're all kiddos, right?
They're all 5 and under. Well, no.
So my boys are older.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have 2 boys who are 6 and 9. And so they are, my youngest is Pip Padawan and my oldest is Snails. And Pat made the costumes for that. And then, you had friends whose other kids have joined in as a Cutie Mark Crusaders.
So I have a friend with twins. And when they saw us at BabsCon, they just looked up at us with their big, like, little 5-year-old eyes and go, "Can we do this too?" And then my daughter, the perennial bad guy, is like, "I want to be Diamond Tiara."
Oh, of course.
Of course, right?
Right, that makes sense.
I'm like, Scootaloo's up for grabs, man. And she's like, "No, Diamond Tiara, mommy." I'm raising a bad guy.
Now, Teresa, I know you were like super into My Little Pony. So these guys, you're naming all these names of My Little Ponies. I'm like, I have no idea like who you're talking about.
I'm sitting here going, "Oh, this is awesome."
Right.
I'm actually wearing a Pony Star Wars mashup thing today on purpose because I was hoping I would meet them today. So yay, it was all planned.
So I know that you guys had a question for Teresa.
Yes. So, like, we know that part of the My Little Pony culture is also creating your own pony persona. Like, if you were a pony as a human being, who would you actually be?
Yeah, so, I mean, what's interesting is I have a deviant art pony that's made, and she's purple, and then she has white and green, like, sort of spiky hair, and she has a microphone on her side for the podcasting stuff and headphones. I don't remember what her name actually was. But if I had to pick any of the regular ponies, it's Applejack, which is very weird because I'm from Texas, but I'm not super country. But there's something about Applejack that is, and she's just amazing to me, but I love her. But are there any ponies you guys are wanting to get added?
So on the way up to the convention, our flight was delayed. So we're like, what are we going to do? We're going to sit down in the airport and watch more episodes of My Little Pony. And I'm sitting here going, I want a Jocasta New librarian. That's for Granny Smith. So
that would be
Right.
amazing.
Oh. And then I want a Trixie. Like, because we need more bad guys. We don't have enough bad guys. And I want a Chrysalis and a Starlight Glimmer. And I want all of them. I just need volunteers, time, and effort.
Do they have to be from the Bay Area?
No, they don't.
Can I be one?
Let's do it. Okay. The good part about Jedi is they're very adaptable. The costumes can fit anybody. We have I have 3 sets of patterns at home. So we have small, medium, large. Nice. Yeah. And then basically my garage, as my husband put it. So you're just using it as a studio in between projects. Please note air quotes. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. In between projects, I promise to put away the sewing machine.
Yeah, sewing machine is staying out. Yeah,
absolutely.
I have a sewing machine cover. Yeah, it's never on it. Yeah. Tricia, did you have a question?
Yeah, I want to know what it is about Star Wars and My Little Pony that makes it perfect for a crossover. What's the connectivity?
Candy-colored Jedi.
It's true. You took the words right out of my mouth. That's my motto for us. I do so much Rebel Legion work. I have 6 approved Jedi with them, but after a while, there's only so much you can do with black, beige, and gray.
And brown. Too.
And brown, right? So after a while, you're just like, I get to use the same pattern in this ridiculously pink fabric. This is awesome. So much fun. Yeah.
Well, and if you can't see it, but we have a purple lightsaber and a yellow lightsaber, which we don't see in Star Wars canon right now. So it adds. I would love to see more colors. Pink. Teresa wants purple.
We have a pink lightsaber. There's a teal lightsaber. Was it Mayor? I think had a teal or light blue lightsaber.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention we also have a Mayor and a Dr. Hooves pony. But yeah, no, the lightsaber colors run the gamut nowadays, especially when it comes for costuming approval with costuming groups. As long as you're a good guy, you can pretty much do any color except for red.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and Tricia, you asked a good question about just the fandoms in general. What is it about y'all's fandom with My Little Pony that you love that also translates to Star Wars?
So for me, I hadn't actually even seen My Little Pony before agreeing to be part of this group. So then I went home and I was like, well, I better go do my homework, so I can know who these characters are. And so I sat down and my 2 boys got into it with me. I was like, yeah, we're watching My Little Pony together. And it's just, you could totally see the characters being like these Jedi defenders of the peace, you know, because they're all about harmony and peace and resolving things and working together. And, you know, you got cool, strong female characters, you know, which also resolved over to Star Wars. I don't know, it's also just kind of fun. It's kind of fun and unique, and it's really neat walking around and having all these little girls who are like, oh my God, look at you, you know, and it's just like, it's fun and playful.
Yeah, I can relate to that because I did Jedi Tink mashup back.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Back in 2012. And so, yeah, like all the little girls.
Were you the actual Jedi Tink? I've seen your photos.
Yes,
I was
that's
very
her.
impressed. Yeah, that was one of my like inspirations. I was like, oh, Jedi Tink. If Jedi Tink can do it, we can do it too. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, all the little girls come up to you, and like even men who are like, oh, my daughter would love this. And, you know, they take a picture. It's so adorable. Yeah. So
Oh, no, I was just going to say my favorite thing was like, you know, My Little Pony is so positive, and Star Wars also has a really positive thing, but also it's really powerful because you get to be colorful, but you also have to get your sword. Like you need, the saber makes everything. And when you take pictures and you put the saber into like the hands of a little girl and their like eyes just light up and you're like, you're right, it's better than jewelry.
That's the quote. That's the quote.
So I have a question then. Have you cosplayed this? You've cosplayed this at a Star Wars convention.
No, not yet.
Oh, no? Oh,
no. So we got inspired by a Star Wars convention, but we always go to like, this is our second year at BabsCon, which is the Bay Area Brony Spectacular. Oh. Yeah, and it happens every April around Easter weekend in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And it's like one of the biggest pony conventions in Northern America.
Looks like I'm going there next year.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes. So do they love you guys there? Like, was your costumes big hits there?
Yes. Okay. So, like, you know, everybody totally, like, gets it, loves it. It's a wonderful way to, like, interact with all the people who are there. I mean, it is a little biased. Rainbow Dash is on staff for BabsCon.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. That's a very Dash thing to do.
Right? Yeah. Dash is in charge. What are you going to do? And, like, and each pony sort of, like, gets a different saber. So I build all of the costumes, and then our Dash builds all of the sabers. So at least everything's like in-house, and she does all of the work. So like this weekend, actually, we just got like our new Saberforge shipment, and she's got like Celestia and Princess Luna actually get matching lightsabers that sort of like matching hilts that counteract with the color. Yeah, like she's really good.
Yeah, so this year we went to BabsCon, and then we did San Francisco Comic-Con recently. Then just Pat and I are here today, and then next weekend we're actually going to the Santa Clara City Library Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And then gonna go watch the My Little Pony movie afterwards.
In costume. But no horns, because we don't want to block the audience.
So where can people find you guys on social media if they want to see pictures or talk to you?
So we have a Facebook page. I believe it's MLP Jedi. We also have an Instagram that is at MLP_Jedi. Yeah, and so I've been posting pictures to those, especially when we go to cons.
So MLP Jedi.
MLP Jedi.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us, and now you get your buttons.
Yay! Thank you.
Well, after this interview, we sat down with these ladies and watched an episode of Forces of Destiny, which was also starting. We went in a little corner and watched an episode, and that was fun because they have kids and they were really excited to see it and see what was happening, and just that there were female characters. So I think there was just a lot of girl friendship there because, you know, we talked about being alone and we're finding each other, and we found more friends.
Yeah, and we sat with them for what, like, I don't know, half an hour or so, just chatting about the latest episode. So yeah, it was amazing. And Teresa, can you tell us where to find these ladies on Twitter?
Yeah, so you can find them on Instagram and head over there and actually follow them because they just started their Instagram, and so they need more followers for sure. You can find them on Instagram at MLP_Jedi. And then there's also a Facebook page, I believe, and it's My Little Pony Jedi. And just like that page, and you can see everywhere that they are going to be cosplaying. Most of them are in California. I am their out-of-town Lyra, so I will be joining them at different conventions when I go to it, and I'm so excited. Now I have a reason to go to BabsCon, which is like the biggest My Little Pony convention ever.
Oh, it's so exciting. Well, that's the thing I love about GeekGirlCon is like you can make all these connections. And the first thing I wanted to do was go on the show floor. And I know we all went there. And what's awesome is that they showcase female-run businesses up there. So, they had lots of entrepreneurs and artists selling their goods, their fashion, and their artwork. And was there any like new businesses or items that you saw that piqued your interest?
Well, for me, I met Christy from Winged Warrior, and she does amazing inspirational art pieces that have quotes on them, or sometimes there's sort of watercolored, and she features women. And so she has like Disney characters, and she started doing Star Wars characters. She has a Leia one, and they're just amazing. And Christy is so nice. When I met her, she was actually wearing the Ahsoka
Vader.
Oh my gosh. The Ahsoka Vader Dave Filoni designed, just like gray unisex shirt. And she's so bubbly and just so awesome. So you can follow her on @WingedWarrior on Instagram and look her up. Like, you really need to buy a piece of her art. They're amazing.
Nice. Tricia, did you see anything that you found?
Well, I just want to note that, I've been going to GeekGirlCon for a few years now, and the show floor used to be really small.
Oh.
And it was just that area downstairs where it's now the open room, and that was it. So it's probably 4 times the size now. So just a number of people who are catering to female consumers and the female artists who feel empowered to go out and do something beyond, say, maybe selling a thing or two on Etsy, and the ones that are turning it into a business, because that's just, it was, her universe was kind of like, oh, well, girls doing geek stuff is kind of a rare thing, and now it's not. So we get to see a lot of female entrepreneurs, but from what it was to what it is now is incredible. And just, you'll note when you look around it, sometimes when you go to cons, there's a lot of, I would say, geek art designed to the male gaze. So, Darth Talon, and I love Darth Talon, but it's also, it's very stylized and sexualized. And so you see something different, which is really cool to see. So
I like that. Yeah, definitely. I know. And I just loved, everywhere you turned, there was something I wanted, which was kind of dangerous. But we did run across at the fashion show. Jordan Dene was one of the fashion designers that was featured at the fashion show. And what she does is create t-shirt designs along with her husband. So I think it's really cool that it's a husband and wife team working together. And they take phrases from common geek things like Game of Thrones. So they have a phrase called "be a dragon." And they also have phrases from Star Wars, like "I rebel," and also phrases from Disney. And she puts them on t-shirts and puts them on all kinds of, mugs. I'm looking here. There's mugs, there's t-shirts, there's unisex tees, there's iPhone cases. And it just kind of, you can display your fandom in a way that people have to actually read it and know where the phrase is coming from. And so Teresa and I got to talk with her for a couple minutes at the con and just learn all about her business.
So it's Teresa and Sarah, and we are at GeekGirlCon on the show floor. So pardon the noise, but we are with Jordan Dene, and we got to see her stuff last night at the fashion show. Jordan, how is GeekGirlCon going for you?
It's awesome. I heard about it a couple years ago, and it's always been the same weekend as New York Comic Con. So now that it isn't, I can finally make it. And it's been amazing. The whole vendor floor is incredible. It's all really specifically for geek women. So like every single vendor here is exactly who everyone wants to see, which is really cool. And then all the customers have been amazing, and the staff and like every person here is great. So it's been awesome.
Wow. So we're here standing in your booth, and can you tell us a little about what you sell and how you kind of thought of this idea?
Yeah, I sell geeky or like subtly geeky home goods and fashion. I started about 6 years ago because I wanted well-designed, well-made, nerdy products, and I couldn't really find any. So I started in home goods, got into fashion about 2 years ago. And so, yeah, it's mostly hand-lettered quotes on different things, shirts, underwear, mugs, journals. So that's pretty much the shop.
So one of the things I really liked about what you said at the fashion show is that you and your husband kind of work together. And so does Sarah. She actually her and her husband run a party company, and then they also do a podcast together. And we just kind of love that. So tell us a little bit about how that partnership is with your husband and, doing all this awesome stuff.
Yeah, he's a professional designer, so he runs a design and ad agency, and then I get lucky that he, on his spare time, designs for me, which is really cool. So I can have a designer that I actually can't afford design for me, which is awesome. So it's a super part-time collaboration. I do all the actual business and printing, and then he does all the design and help me with the website and stuff. But the cool thing is we both run our own businesses, so we don't run our businesses together, but we understand the struggle together, so we can talk about things that we wouldn't maybe get if we didn't both do businesses, which is really cool.
So we're looking at the shirt wall, and you guys can't see it, but I mean, just offhand, I see Star Wars, I see Beauty and the Beast, I see Game of Thrones, I see Moana. Tell us a little bit about what inspires you to pick the quotes that you use and things like that.
Yeah, the fandoms are generally ones that I enjoy. Usually they're things I already like, which is cool, but they're all also stories that have at least mostly a good message, a positive, either a really strong female character or just a general good vibe for the world. So there isn't a lot of most of the quotes have a good spin, some kind of positive spin. And hopefully the fandoms do too. Most of them are pretty good, which is also nice.
So one of the things that I'm seeing is the shirt that says be positively rebellious and rebelliously positive, which is definitely something we see on social media a lot, and it's kind of coming around more about being really positive and uplifting for each other. Can you tell me a little bit about that one and where that one came from?
Yeah, that's a David Tennant quote from an interview he did. I think it was right after the election, but it was in a time where people needed a little uplifting. So I heard him say that, and I was like, well, that's my new life motto. And then it resonated with some of my friends, too. So we made it a design. And I think it's just, net good for everyone. A message like that is just, even if you don't know where it came from, it's, good for the world just to have it on you and be wearing it.
What is your favorite quote that you have actually put on a shirt? What's your favorite design, I suppose?
So, Be a Dragon, I think, is my favorite because it's from Game of Thrones, but even if you don't know that, the message is just, be fiery and badass and, take over and be yourself. Whatever that means to you, it's a cool message. I like that a lot.
Definitely. I think as I'm standing here, probably my favorite is the I Have Journeyed Farther, which is Moana, and it's a great color palette. It's a reddish kind of color with orange. And so what are your shirts made out of? Because I feel that's probably an important thing too, just thinking about how soft they are and all that.
Yeah, I don't I don't manufacture them myself, so I make sure to find companies that don't use sweatshops, their ethics are all great, and also their materials are really good. So right now I'm working with Bella Canvas for everything, and their quality is great and their customer service is great. So they're a really cool company that I'm happy to support, and then also everyone likes wearing them because they're so soft and well made, and I'm not worried that people are going to buy something and then return it in a week because it fell apart, because they just don't. Yeah. So that's great.
So let's kind of circle back to GeekGirlCon. What's your favorite moment so far?
I got to be in the fashion show last night, which we talked about, which I haven't been a part of a fashion show in a decade, and it was really cool. And I haven't been backstage in an adult fashion show ever. And it was really cool and different from watching Next Top Model. It was the opposite of that. It was everyone, Espionage was doing makeup and Vane was doing hair, and they were like making sure the models looked the way they wanted to look, and all the designers were hanging out and chatting, and the models were making friends. Like, it was just a super cool, positive, like supportive. Everyone was trying to just look like the best version of themselves, and it was really, really cool.
Yeah, there was like at that fashion show, there was all body types, all shapes, like, and everyone was flaunting what they got.
All ages, which was super cool. Like, there was like a 40-year range of models, which was awesome.
That's very true.
So in like the spirit of uplifting and being positive, what's another geek fashion company that you kind of look to, maybe not necessarily for inspiration, but just as something it's like that you admire?
Yeah, I like being here because Espionage is here. They're West Coast. So my West Coast cons, I get to kind of hang out with them. And I love that they do nerdy beauty products, but it's about just like enhancing what you already have and are. It's not like being someone different. It's taking the things you like about yourself and like drawing more attention to those. So that company is really inspiring to me. And like they're killing it, which is awesome. Like as a business, they're really inspirational and like something that I would like to grow into, which is really cool.
Awesome. So we are a Star Wars podcast. So I'm going to assume you're a Star Wars fan. Favorite Star Wars film and character?
I cried the most in Rogue One from Jyn Erso, so I think I have to say that. Like, seeing that as an adult and knowing that, like, my nieces get to grow up with her as a hero, I think that's my favorite right now.
That's really awesome. It's really awesome. Have you read Rebel Rising? You should. If you like, you should. I'm saying this because, like, I read it, and it gave Jyn so much more depth that if you're already connected to her, you're going to be even more connected to her.
All right, convinced. I'll watch it. Or I'll read it, I mean. Yeah. I'll totally read it. Yes, that sounds great.
So where can people find you online if they want to follow you and check out your stuff?
Yeah, I'm at Jordan Dene, JordanDene.com. And then my social media is Jordan Dene NYC everywhere.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. This is awesome.
So one thing I really like about Jordan shirts is how soft they are. I wore mine on the way home from GeekGirlCon, and it was just like, you know, being on a plane in a blankie. It was so soft. And I have the Moana one that says, I have journeyed farther. And it's one of my favorite shirts now. Not going to lie. Love that thing.
Nice. Yeah, she gave me a shirt that says, I want adventure in the great wide somewhere. So that is, of course, from Beauty and the Beast. And I love it too. I'm actually going to experiment and do little shoulder cutouts, like a cold shoulder thing and stuff. Cause it is a unisex tee, and I'm too curvy for those. So it's a little boxy for me. So I'm gonna experiment and play with it, cause t-shirts are fun to cut up, cause you don't actually have to sew them. You can just cut them up and you don't need to sew the edges. So yay.
I've done that before, and I made a shirt too small. So I don't do it anymore.
You cut too much off the bottom?
I did the sides because I wanted to be cool and like have a tank top with like the sides with little bows. You know, where you tie like little bows. Yeah, I made it too small.
Oops.
Well, you live and learn on those type of things. That's part of the fun of it. And definitely, so not only did we watch fashion shows, we kind of had our own fashion shows. If you watched our social media, because we all were like in El Hoffer design, just in there trying everything on, like the long line. What is that? The general, reminiscent of Leia's cape that we see in the Last Jedi trailer. And then also the one I was surprised was the Snips. What do we call that? A Carter wrap?
Sure. It's a carded wrap, card shawl, carded something.
You could do some really cool things with it. And I probably wouldn't have gone for that one if not for actually getting to try it on personally. And I know that for Sarah, for you, this was a first time to get to try some of the El Hoffer stuff on.
Yes. I mean, her stuff is beautiful and gorgeous, and it is priced as such. So I haven't actually bought anything from her yet. So to be able to try stuff on is what pushed me over the edge. And I actually did pre-order the Snips long line Carta wrap thing, because when trying it on, I was like, oh, you can do this, you can do this. So the front of it, you know, you can tie it in a knot in the front, you can throw it over your shoulders, you can do all sorts of fun things. And then if you wear like a little brooch that has maybe the Snips design on it, or maybe a Fangirls Going Rogue button or something, you can really show off your fandom that way. So I did end up getting that. And then later, Tricia, I blame you.
Uh-oh.
You were wearing the Galactic Royalty, the Galactic Sunset hooded cardigan.
Isn't that the prettiest?
It's amazing. And I added that to my order. So I blame you.
It is the prettiest. I got the Ray inspired cape, the dark gray, and that thing is so warm. And usually I have to wear something in the office, so I had it on just over my shoulders, and I'm kind of wrapped up in it. And then I'm like, oh man, I'm sweating. So I mean, they would turn down the air in Florida here, so but it's definitely warm and comfy and snuggy, and I love it. And
Teresa, now you've gotten. You got a thing there at Elhofer as well.
I did. I actually wore it today because it's cooled off a little bit in Texas temporarily, by the way. It's just temporary. Okay. It'll get warmer, and then on Halloween night, it'll go freezing so that everybody dressed skimpy for Halloween will be cold. It's how it always happens. It's just what happens here. So I have a Hufflepuff Badger sweater. I have the relaxed unisex fit one. I don't have the girl cut one. Mm-hmm. And you know what? It doesn't even matter because it fits me perfect. I have a small, so I know that helps a lot of our listeners that are thinking about buying fashion related items. I personally wear a small, so if you've ever met me, I'm about 5'2", and I weigh about 115, 116. So if you've seen me in pictures and stuff, you know. And so I'm wearing a small. I could probably wear an extra small, but I think for me it would be too tight for the way I like to wear stuff because I want to wear shirts underneath it. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing. Oh my God. I love this sweater. It's the best. Actually, the teacher that's in the room next to me, she saw me with it, and she's going to be buying a Slytherin one. So we're gonna each have one. It's going to be very cool. But yes, it was my first Catherine Elhofer piece, and I am probably now going to be buying more Elhofer stuff. So,
so watch your wallets, people.
Basically, watch your wallet.
So I have a thing. So Teresa, when you come visit, and if we happen to go to Universal Studios and visit Wizarding World. Okay.
Well, we're going.
Okay. So you need to wear that, your Hufflepuff sweater, and I am going to wear the Galactic Sunset hooded cardigan because you know what it reminds me of?
Fox the Phoenix.
Oh, amazing. I'm going to do like I'm going to do a Harry Potter bound.
You're going to Harry Potter bound.
And I'm going to be Fox.
And so I can actually wear I have a Hufflepuff tie. I have a Hufflepuff headband. I have a Hufflepuff cardigan. I have an entire Ravenclaw outfit, which I can't wear anymore because I'm not Ravenclaw. I thought I was at one point, but I'm not. So now I have to buy new robes. So when we go, I have to buy new Hufflepuff robes.
Okay.
So
sounds awesome. Yay.
So let's well, you guys got to talk to Catherine Elhofer too, so let's let people listen to what she has to say about doing fashion in this geek world that we live in.
So we are here at GeekGirlCon with Catherine Elhofer, and she's amazing. We already know this about her, but we wanted to talk to her officially. And
on Fangirls Going Rogue.
On Fangirls Going Rogue. So how's the con, Catherine?
Amazing as always. I love GeekGirlCon. Like, not only because it's mostly ladies coming into my booth, which makes me really happy, but it's just such a welcoming and open convention. Like, everyone is so nice, and it's not this way at most cons I go to.
So tell us about what you're wearing today.
So I'm wearing a Jordan Tanay tank because Jordan's right across the aisle from me, and she's wanted to give me this tank for a while. So I'm wearing my tank. I can't remember what it says. Strange
Strange and unusual.
I can't read upside down and over boobs.
Yes.
They're in the way. And I paired it with my rainbow maxi skirt because I'm obsessed with the maxi skirts. And I feel like a princess when I wear them.
And I know yesterday you were rocking the maxi tartan skirt, which is gorgeous.
Yes, so that one's on pre-order right now, and I love it because when I wear it, I feel like a Sassenach. And that's my dream. I will travel back through time.
All right, so in case anybody doesn't know what you do, which if they don't, they need to. Tell us a little bit about your company and how you got it started and all of that.
Yeah, so I formed Elhofer Design, end of 2016, beginning of 2017, because I'd been laid off from We Love Fine / Mighty Fine, and I wanted to keep doing geek fashion because I was doing this with Her Universe, I was doing it with them, and I was doing it before that on my own. And I was like, well, I'll go back to doing it on my own because I love this. And what I'm doing, my personal philosophy is to make stuff for all women as much as possible. But for me, myself, I'm curvy. So I'm like, I need to make stuff in extra large that fit extra large nicely. And then pockets in anything that can possibly have pockets, which is such a simple thing, but no one does it well. So I'm going to keep doing it. But so I started making stuff for first Force Awakens, some friends of mine that were going to Force Awakens. And then that took off on the internet. Some photos went viral, and then people were requesting more of it. And then I started making some small production run stuff because I was making it all in my house. And I would take like 20 to 30 orders a month, and I would hand make all of them. And then that got too crazy, and I was finding that there were a few dresses that people kept requesting, like my Rey-inspired scavenger dress. And I made 35 of those in a week. And I was like, okay, it's time to go to a factory now. I live in Los Angeles. I know them. It's fine. So a friend of mine pointed me the way of a great factory that did my cut and sew for a while. And then I moved on to another one. So I work locally with small factories that were out of LA. And so I made a run of Rey dresses. I offered them up for pre-order. And I think I sold like 75 on pre-order. And so I ordered like 150. I was like, wow, this dress is popular, I guess. I mean, obviously it is. It's Rey.
Yes.
But it's so simple, and so I was just shocked. And the fact that I was able to reach that many people so quickly was amazing. And so I did that dress, and then I did a few others. I did a Jedi-inspired dress. I did a Poe-inspired dress, just using simple color and line to tell the story. I just expanded from there. So I started doing other fandoms because I'm a huge Potterhead. Hufflepuff for life. And then I did, and then I moved into sweaters halfway through last year, and that kind of took me off. That shot off my company. Sweaters are something that not a lot of companies are doing and doing well. And it's something that I was doing at Mighty Fine. I learned how to do sweater design there, and I'm able to take it out into the real world and do it myself. And so now I have a cornucopia of fandoms and sweater styles and things. I did a Harry Potter.
Can't stop looking at these right now. You're standing right in front of the rack, and I'm like, I want to look for.
Yeah, there's Wonder Woman, there's Harry Potter, there's Spider-Gwen, there's, you can just look at it, and it just pops. It's amazing.
House Argyles. Yeah, I did a Badger sweater initially that I was going to do a Hufflepuff collection, and then Instagram was like, are you going to do other houses? And I was like, oh, I guess I could. I mean, it makes sense. And so I released a little house collection of different animals, and that went viral. That got shared on Yahoo News. Which was insane. I was at the dentist getting my teeth cleaned, and my Etsy, because I had Etsy at the time, just kept going off. And my dentist was like, is your phone exploding? And I was like, I think so, but why? And then I scroll down my notifications, and I see a friend of mine texted oh my God, Yahoo News is sharing your stuff. And I guess it was Hello Giggles that shared it, and then Yahoo News auto shared. And I was just like, oh God, I need to call my factory and make sure I can make all of these. I had to make 300 Badger sweaters.
Wow.
It was insane. And then I made a bunch of the other animals too, but the Badger was the top seller, and I'm just like, oh God, this is a thing now.
Is that the sweater that I got?
So you got the unisex version, but it was the initial more femme, high-low cut version. And then when those sold out, I did a new version because I get tired of things really quickly, and so I never want to do the same thing over and over. And so I'm like, well, let me change it slightly so that way it's not the same thing, and to keep it so that way not everyone is wearing that sweater. So yeah, so that's my weird story of my company.
No, it's so interesting because I remember on Skywalking Through Neverland, we interviewed you, I believe, right as you were starting your company, the inception of it.
And December, I think.
Yeah, of 2015.
Yeah.
I think. So it's really It's really cool to see how much you've grown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me, and I don't realize how much it has grown. Because it's still just me. Now I have an assistant. So, like, oh, cool, now that's another person. And it's never just me. I work with factories and, like, these people that work, like, factory reps. So it's, like, it's not like it's just me doing it, but... I mean, I have to go back home tomorrow and start the production on my blue coat dress. So I have to get all my buttons, all my trims, all my labels, all my fabrics, all my threads together to pass it to my factory to get started on it. So, like, it's not like it's just taking it to them and they take over. So it's work. But, yeah, now I have an assistant, but I still am just like, oh, yeah, like, this is crazy. What I'm doing is crazy. I'm super happy. But, like, I'm just like, oh, God, this is nuts. Like, I had no idea it would get like this.
Yeah.
Like, get this big.
So let's talk a little bit about GeekGirlCon. I mean, what has been your sort of favorite memory? I mean, you were in the fashion show yesterday, and that went really well. And you featured Hamilton.
Yes, I did. Yes, I love Hamilton. Like, I love Hamilton so fucking much. Like, I'm obsessed. So I featured Hamilton because we can only have 3 looks. And so with that in mind, I'm like, what can I really show a good collection of that really will captivate people? Because as much as I love my wrap dresses... As much as I love, like, my Harry Potter stuff, my wrap dresses, my Hamilton stuff makes an impact. Like, that stuff will, like, draw the wind out of a room because everyone's gasping. And so I want to show Hamilton. And I have the new blue coat dress on pre-order. So I was like, well, let me show the collection so far. Because I did the Hamilton collection initially last year because I was going to Hamilton. So I wanted to pass the backstage people, like, a little booklet for Lynn before he left of, like, what I would think Hamilton fashion could be. And so I did, like, a bunch of handmade pieces, and then that blue coat dress took off again. That was another one that just went viral that I wasn't expecting, where just everyone was requesting, I want that dress. And I was like, well, let me get it to a factory, because now that I've made 35 Ray dresses, I kind of don't want to sew as much anymore. So then it was just a mad rush of getting that going. So now we've, like, finessed it further because the buttons were sold out forever, because I'm very picky about my designs. Like, I won't, like, half-ass anything. So I'm like, it's not just any gold button. It has to be a gold shank button, 36L, like 36 line. I have rules. And so I finally found another pair. I have this warehouse that I go to that's like half the size of this con floor right now. So it's huge. And I just walk through it and just look for buttons. And I found these gold buttons. They were just sitting on the floor. And I was like, okay, well, they're calling to me. They're meant to be. And that's how I work. Everything just happens for a reason.
Nice. So have there been, like, at this convention, any favorite moments or little stories you can tell?
Well, I had Looking for Leia come and interview me, which was amazing. So they came to me yesterday morning. But honestly, this whole con is just like, it's one giant memory because everyone's so nice. A bunch of my friends are here, and so we go out to dinner, like friends that I don't get to see because they're in Seattle. Or Jordan, who's like New York based. And so she's like, I just saw you. I know I just saw you at Comic-Con, but can I hang out with you again? I'm like, yes, please, because I adore you. And so it's making those friends. I'm making new friends. Last year I made friends with Optimisticals, their jewelry company, and like hanging out with them again and like meeting. I met yesterday for the first time Jamie from SBA Nosh Cosmetics. It's a lie. I met her like at the very first Her Universe fashion show because she was backstage. But like that was 4 years ago now. And so we reconnected. She's like, you have your own company now. Let's talk. And so we literally spent 2.5 hours at Cheesecake Factory last night, just talking business and how we grow. And I'm like, this is what I love, is like the networking, the bonding, like recognizing that like her company's been around now for ages and she's growing so like she's got such good business moves and her growth is phenomenal. And I'm like, cool. There's so much hope for indie companies. Like, you don't have to immediately get licenses and work the license route. You can do this indie route because you don't need to have $10 million behind you or have a giant like multi-million-dollar company behind you, which I don't. This was financed initially by my unemployment checks and then moved on to many other things. So it's nice to see that like this is just the beginning, and like being here reminds me that like while I have grown, I haven't grown enough to be able to hire somebody to just do my booths for me, which would be lovely. But also it gets me to connect with everyone, and I get to see like obviously fit on a bunch of different people and how certain people like different things. And like I ask everyone like if they're like, oh, I won't buy that sweater, and I'm like, why? Just tell me why. And they're like, oh, I get hot easily. And I'm like, okay, maybe I just start doing some more short sleeve sweaters or some sleeveless things, like because I love sweaters because they're like I have a knit house factory like on lockdown. But, you know, maybe I can change some things up and make it more versatile for others. So it's a learning experience for me.
I find it so intriguing that like because of GeekGirlCon or conventions like this, you're meeting other women entrepreneurs and just like building relationships and like it's really exciting.
Well, and it's amazing because like there's not enough women. There's not enough women in the industry in the geek world. Like we know this, but they're here. And not only are they here, like women help each other out. Like there's the new like Lord of the Flies coming out with it's a female focused one, and like on Twitter, people are like, that would never happen. The plot would be they start fighting and then they talk it out.
Yeah, right.
And then movie over, 5 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, like women, we talk. Like that is what we do. And so we're all talking, we're all sharing knowledge, we're all talking, like I'm working with Jordan, I'm possibly collaborating on some stuff.
Yes, please.
Yeah, because that's how we're going to grow and share our customer base. And so anyway, so it's all of that happens. And I'm a very vocal person and I'm a very like brainstormy person. And so talking with my friend Christina is wearing one of my new pieces. And we're like, oh my gosh, what other patterns can we do in this? Instead of spider webs, do like, what is it we were talking about? Wolves. And do like a Game of Thrones inspired piece. Like, right?
Yeah. See, okay. And so you like some of the capes that you have and like snips and stuff, like not really my jam, but with the sleeves, like I would wear that and in lots of different fandoms.
And that hem too, it's a little shorter.
Yes,
which is actually good for us short people.
Yep.
Yes.
Some of the longer stuff, I feel like almost like it's too, like it's, I don't know.
Just so you know, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right now, we're problem solving this one, and this is my new like Spider-Man inspired top. I think I'm just going to call it like the web top. I have no idea yet. I forgot some clever name, but we're trying to figure out how wide we can make it because we need. I won't make something just in a small size. I have to make it up to like a 3XL. So we're brainstorming with my factory to be like, okay, how can we problem solve making it wider? But yeah, this will be on my site in a few days. Well, not like it's a reverse jacquard knit, but it is still sewn in.
Okay.
But it's a reverse jacquard knit, so like when it opens up on the inside, it's not like you're looking at like an ugly back.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's like what else can we do? Like wolves that are black and white, that'd be rad.
Yep.
Like, and it's because you can only play with 2 colors in this knit. There's a lot of rules with knits that I'm learning. And
so I have a question because you're talking about the sizing and something that I think is interesting, and it came up at the fashion show. Why is it in fashion that larger women or plus sizes or whatever, have to pay more money for the same clothes? Obviously it's more material, but I feel like there's got to be something else underlying that everything costs more, and I don't feel like that's fair.
It's a mix. Being in it now, I see like it's a dramatic amount of fabric that can be used sometimes. And if my fabric costs the way, like my Lafayette dress, it's $11 a yard for that fabric. So that's a lot. Most people, most companies, like some of the stuff you're wearing, this is 20 cent a yard fabric to 50 cent a yard fabric. So 50 cents versus $11 is a huge jump. So when I go to my 3X, I use more than almost twice the fabric that's used in an extra small. So that. I price my stuff normally at mediums to larges, but my sweaters even I have a $1 or $2 upcharge for plus sizes. And I eat that because I'm like, I don't want my customers to see that price increase for being bigger. I'm an extra large. Like, no, that's not happening. So I price everything out to the larger size to make sure that it's not done that way. Most companies don't do that because they don't care. Like at the end of the day, if you're doing that, it's because you don't care about the difference. You do see them as different people. Sometimes, like Torrid will actually pattern things to a plus size. So they're doing a whole different pattern, and that pattern may cost a different amount than the original pattern. Not just because of the fabric, but because of the work they have to do to put it in. Like they have to add bust darts or side darts or whatever that is. So that could be why. Another reason is that they see other people doing it, and so they're going to do it too. Because why would you change the industry? Just go with the flow.
Yeah, right. Well, since we'd love to be positive and uplift to other women and other women's companies, and we know you love Jordan and we know you love Espionage Cosmetics, like outside of those two, what are some of the other companies that you would say, like, hey, check these girls out?
I love Gold Bubble. You're wearing Gold Bubble. Yeah. I love Gold Bubble. I'm friends with Victoria and Ginyo who own it, and they've had to put it on the back burner for a bit, which makes me so sad. So I've been pushing them to do more, and I think they will soon because they're working with Anovos on some stuff. So they're fantastic. I love Allison of Rock Love Jewelry, which I'm sure you know her too. Mm-hmm. She's phenomenal. She's actually an old friend from back in my Ren Fair days. So she's over in New York, and I'm in the LA, and like as we're doing our stuff, I'm just like, oh my God, like this is so freaking awesome that like these two girls from St. Louis, Missouri are like growing together, and she's way bigger than me, but she's also like my mentor senpai, so she's constantly giving me advice and talking to me about different like possible licensing routes or whatever. Adore her. God, who else is there? Lauren of Castle Corsetry is a great company. She has workout wear, and she also does like corsets and costumes. She's fantastic. Most of her stuff is all like handcrafted in her studio, so it's just going to fit beautifully. And she makes all sizes because it's custom. So she's like, I'll make 60-inch weights corset, whatever you want. Like, I will do it. What I do is when my friends come to me wanting help with production, I immediately pass them all of my fabric vendors and all of my sewing vendors and everyone, because I want everyone to grow with me. Yeah. And I'm lucky enough to like people want to collaborate with me. So like I'm just really lucky.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to wrap up here, but I did want to ask you favorite fandom and Potter. Okay. Favorite piece that you've designed.
Oh gosh. Why are you making me pick?
We are.
We like to do this. We do this.
It's like picking a favorite child. I don't have that experience yet, but like, I don't know. I'm like looking around, like, I love my Galactic Commander dress a ton, but I also love my Lafayette, but I also love all of my wrap dresses. Okay, my wrap dresses. I'm going to pick those because I wear those all the time.
Nice.
Like when I'm at home and I just want to like be comfortable, it's a wrap dress. Because they fit beautifully, and then I don't feel like I'm totally being a schlubby like loser while I hang out on my sofa working on my computer. Yeah. At least I'm beautiful on my sofa.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so if people want to follow you and kind of keep up with what you're doing, where can they go?
They can go pretty much anywhere on the internet for me. It's Elhoffer Design, ELHOFFER Design. On my most active is my Instagram, and then Twitter, and then Facebook, and then my website is elhofferdesign.com.
All right. Well, what is on pre-order? I did want to talk about that.
My bit of advice for Elhoffer Design is if there's something on pre-order that you want, buy it on pre-order because it's much much cheaper. It's much cheaper, yeah. Then, like, I think the Daenerys dress started at, what is it, 100 or 150 on
your Khaleesi dress, right?
The Dragon Queen was, I believe, like 165 initially, and now it's 225.
Right.
Commander was, I think, 150, now 225. Snips was initially like 70 or 75, and now it's 100 or almost 100, or it will be tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, pre-order is the way to go because I discount them between 20 to 30% because I'm taking your money a few months ahead of time. Mm-hmm. So I want to make it discounted because, like, if I was to get a loan from a bank, I'd have to pay interest on it, or I can just get promises from you that you'll buy it by taking your money now. So on pre-order right now, I have a couple maxi skirts. I have my tartan maxi skirt as well as my Scattered Stars maxi skirt, which is inspired by Wonder Woman, but works for a variety of characters like Cap or, America Chavez, like anyone that's America-based. My Mentor cape, which is inspired by Luke and Kylo, like merged together. Snips, which is my Ahsoka-inspired piece.
Which I just pre-ordered this morning.
I did. I saw your order come through. My blue coat dress, which is my Hamilton piece, which is my most popular piece that I've done. But it's also super limited because even though I got 1 billion buttons, it only will cover about 100 dresses. So when I get back, I'm going to get Spiderweb up for pre-order, as well as my Blood Drip and my Slimer cardigans. Super cute. And then I just sketched up a few new Game of Thrones-inspired dresses. They're going to go up. I get the samples done, but the samples will take like a week or two at most, and then they'll be up, and they're going to be holiday dresses.
Oh, wow. Nice. Very, very cool.
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys are fantastic.
Well, it's always fun getting to know kind of behind the scenes and what happens in the fashion industry. I find that fascinating.
Yes, me too. It's so cool to get to hear from the people that are actually doing it and the people that we buy from to know what's really going on. And it just helps you want to support them even more than you already do.
Exactly, which is why I dropped another $100 on the Galactic Royal, whatever. Yeah, the Galactic Sunset Hooded Cardigan.
She has a whole awesome line of like Naboo, Padme inspired stuff that we don't get enough of. So I have definitely found some of those pieces are really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So thank you guys for listening to this Priority Transmission. You can reach us in between shows by going to fangirlsgoingrogue.com. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram. We are at FG Going Rogue. Tricia is at Fangirl Cantina. I am at Ice Cold Penguin. Sarah is at Jedi Tink. And our social media manager, Sandra, is at Geek Chic 9.
If you enjoyed this interview or want to see us interview other people, just give us an email, contact@fangirlsgoingrogue.com. Always join the conversation, Facebook, Fangirls Going Rogue. Tumblr, let's see, there's definitely some geek fashion going on there. fangirlsgoingrogue.tumblr.com.
And on Facebook, if you want to get to know other Yub covers, then you can join our Facebook group. That's a closed group on Facebook, so you just search Facebook for Fangirls Going Rogue group, and then answer the 2 questions that pop up after you click join the group or request to join. You can also leave us a voicemail and tell us what your favorite item of geek fashion is, and that is 33121 Ewoks. And you can also follow us on YouTube. Actually, you have to subscribe on YouTube. You can't just follow us. So go, click subscribe. We are youtube.com/fangirlsgoingrogue.
And please go to iTunes and leave a positive 5-star review. We need your reviews so more people will find awesome episodes like this and we can do more interviews.
So, Yub covers, until next time. Da 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 da. Yub.
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 Yub. You are listening to a Fangirls Going Rogue priority transmission. Do I need to do it again?
No, I loved it. I just think it's funny because you're just so Texas with the transmission.
Oh man!
I just think it's cute.
My accent come out?
No, just it did before, so whenever you say it, I hear it.
Oh.
This is a Fangirls Going Rogue priority transmission. It's not that bad, obviously, but
every now and then.
Yeah, Mater does it. Exactly.
It's my Mater voice.
No, we love you.
Okay. Welcome, Yub Cubs, to a special priority transmission. With me are my regular awesome co-hosts. You hush your mouth.
You forgot to introduce yourself.
Oh, hi. Okay, start over. And take 2.
And you know, we have the dad of 2 of our Padawans was taking pictures of us last time when we were at San Francisco Comic-Con. And so we have some of his pictures of the whole group, all 15 of us from last time. Yeah.
Like it was fun because we joined the costume contest and so trying to coordinate 15 human beings, 5 of them under the age of 10 was really interesting. But it was cute because the person who we sort of recruited a last minute kid to be Scootaloo, and she was super quiet and she was super shy and she didn't want to talk to any of us. But the moment she put on her costume, she was the first one on stage going this. And she was super explosive and we're yeah, that's the power of the costume. We get it.
Wow. All right. And what about you as individuals? Do you want to mind sharing how we can get a hold of you on Twitter or Instagram or any of those?
I don't have a Twitter account. Okay. I have an Instagram account and it's Dream Fairy Designs and there's 20 photos on there. Okay. and then my Facebook is so hidden. You could look for Pat M. Ulo and then it might show up.
I have an Instagram. My username is Mighty Mars. I also have a Twitter on the same name, and I'm on Facebook. But my Facebook and Twitter are almost 90% liberal political posts.
Awesome.
So just be warned.
Great.
All right, we out. What's that?
That's got to be added now. I'm sorry.
How do you type that? Porg scream.
BB-8's gonna feel so left out of this.
Oh, yeah. I think I've even made a murder of porgs as our ending.